All right, guys, back with another portable Clint already. It's 2 for Tuesday on a Thursday. Guys, this next guy I've never really talked with, but I'm a gigantic fan of his. He's on one of my favorite shows, and if you're not watching it, you should watch it. It's on Hulu. It's called Quickdraw. Ladies and gentlemen, John Lehr.
Hey!
Whoa, look at you, man. Look at you.
I like your setup.
Thank you, man. It likes you. First of all, I am not kidding you. I am a true fan of yours. The products that you put out, dude, I am digging.
Thank you. That means so much to me. I mean, that's the only reason to do it. Anybody who works in this business, it's like, you know, that you try to reach people, you try to crack them up. And,
well, you do.
I mean, money's great too, and health insurance.
Yeah.
But really, that stuff's fleeting. It's just like, 'cause so whenever I run into somebody who'd like, and Quickdraw is the weirdest thing because I've had brushes with fandom, you know, throughout my career, but Quickdraw fans are just like they just love it in such a way. It's such a great connection. It's like kind of like family, and I've gotten like, you know, email from, you know, fans who are like, you know, veterans or people going through really hard times, and they're like, hey, your show cracked me up. And it's like,
it's funny, man. It
what
is
else
funny.
can you ask for?
All right, John, you ready to do this?
Let's do it.
Okay, here we go.
I love your hat.
Thank you.
It's really
Thank
nice.
you, man. It's a Stetson Open Road.
Of course, it's
Harley,
a Stetson.
yeah, exactly. All right, John,
Yes.
when and why and how did you get to Los Angeles, California to start your Hollywood adventure? If you started it somewhere else, feel free to say that.
Okay, well, the short story is I was in Chicago. I was doing an improv show that was like, at that time was kind of new. Now they call it long form. At that time, there wasn't really long form. This was like one of the shows that, you know, maybe contributed to that. I don't know. I've been told that. It was a 2-person show. It was super fast, super like, you know, stream of conscious thing. And somehow a talent scout from Fox heard about it.
Wow.
This gorgeous ex-model named Eve Zerly, who worked for Fox. She flew into Chicago. She met with us afterwards.
She flew in just to see you guys.
Well, maybe she was seeing a bunch of stuff, but anyway.
Yeah, okay.
I like to think
Yeah, me too. Let's just go with that.
Yeah. So, gorgeous. Did I mention that?
No.
Okay, so she says, really like your show. How would you guys feel about coming out to Los Angeles? We'll put you up and you do a showcase in Los Angeles. Wow. And we were totally broke, and we were just like, yeah, we'd like to do that.
How old were you? How old?
It was 92, so I was what? I don't know, 20s.
Okay.
Early 20s.
Okay.
Yeah. So mid-20s. So she flew us out. We did the show. We had no idea, but every, you know, development person, agent, you know, was there. We did a great job on the show. And we ended up signing. I hate telling this story because it pisses some people off.
Yeah, but I love it.
And you know, I gotta say, like, the other half of this story is me in Chicago working my butt off doing improv in clubs where people are like, "You suck," and so it sounds like it just, you know, fell into my lap, and it did. But anyway,
great.
So we ended up signing with ICM. Signed with 3 Arts Management.
Wow.
Got a holding deal.
Holding deals are sweet, guys.
They're not around anymore.
No,
I don't hear about it.
I don't either.
Holding deals were basically they would pay you to do nothing. And it was $15,000 each. And I was on drugs at the time and drinking. In fact, this bar that we're right next to was one of my favorite drinking establishments.
Really?
I got stuck here in the farmer's market. I woke up in the nut place right around the corner. And I woke up, it was like 4 a.m. I woke up and there were nuts like stuck to my face. I went out to this is before the new farmer's market. I went out to the parking lot over here, and we had a 1964 Volvo station wagon, which they were really thin, narrow cars. Comes to play. And the parking lot was locked, so I couldn't get out. But I knew the parking lot gate over on this side was broken, and then I could get out. So all I had to do was get my car from that parking lot to this parking lot, and I tried to pull in into the farm. My idea was to drive through the farmer's market and get to the other side. And I pulled into the first thing, and there was like some chrome on the side of and it like opened like a sardine can. It was just like, and there was a security guard who was just staring at me like,
what are you doing?
What are you? I parked the car. Anyway, so we got all those things, but I was on drugs and drinking, so I blew it. I kind of blew it all.
Somebody told me I wasn't going to mention any of that because,
I'm
because
pretty
you
open about it.
You were dropping acid while you did your shows in Chicago.
Yes.
I just heard this like 5 minutes ago.
From who? Who spilled that?
I'm not going to say.
But I would. Yeah, I was. I was out of control.
Were you dropping acid the day the beautiful lady?
No. No. Thank God.
Okay.
Because no. So then I got arrested, 23 and some odd years ago.
Okay.
In Ventura County on acid. Spent the night in the Ventura County jail and then got sober after that. And
really?
I've been sober for 23
look
years.
at you, dude. Yeah. That is awesome, brother.
I'm a success story.
Good. That's awesome.
And it's all me. I did it all.
Sure, of course.
Yeah, I take full credit.
Okay, so when that happened, 23 years ago, was this at the time that all the good stuff was happening?
The good stuff happened. We ended up parlaying that into a show on Entertainment Television.
Sure, I've heard of it.
Now the Kardashian channel.
Yeah.
Called News Weasels. And the idea was we would make fun of the news. It was a lot of improv. It seemed like a great gig at the time. E screwed up and couldn't get the rights to the news feed. They paid $1 million for a news feed and then found out they couldn't use it. So this is during the OJ thing?
Yes.
So the OJ thing, the biggest news story in the world is happening, and we can't talk about it. We're doing public domain stuff about drinking contests in Australia.
Yeah, that's what I want to watch when the OJ news is big.
It's called News Weasels, and we can't talk about the news. So the show went one season, got canceled, but that kind of gave me my start and then, but I was really drinking heavily during that time. I was also still working. Oddly, and I ended up kind of writing, and because I come from improv, so I ended up having to. There was no improv on TV then.
Sure.
So I had to break it apart, and I did some writing. I sold some scripts. I did some acting, and
you make that sound so easy, selling scripts. How many scripts did you sell? How many?
I early on I sold a presentation pilot to Fox that was kind of an improv. My first experiment with trying to do improv on television. Massive failure because I hadn't met Nancy Hauer yet, who's the real brains of the operation.
Which is your wife?
No, business partner.
Business partner?
Yeah.
Okay.
Never slept with her.
Okay.
But, it could happen.
But you do hang out with your wife. I guess y'all do y'all's podcast together? Or?
My wife is Jennifer Schlossberg. We've done some stuff together, but she's
I don't know why I thought
books.
that. Okay.
That's Nancy that I do the podcast with.
My
work wife. They're very similar.
Okay.
Oddly.
Okay.
Very strong, independent women who know what they want.
Awesome. We need them. We need them.
Just tell me what to do.
Exactly.
So, anyway. So, but at that time, and then I sold a script to NBC I had done an episode of Friends.
Yes.
And I knew David Schwimmer from Northwestern, and I pitched a thing to NBC, and they said, well, maybe you should pitch it to Schwimmer's company. And I was like, I know him. This is going to work.
This is great.
And it did. He bought it. It didn't go. But it was like my first foray into that. And then I got onto a show right after that called Jesse.
Yes, Jesse, which you were a series regular on.
I was a series regular on, but here's the thing.
I just want to let you know, it was the spinoff from Friends.
Yes, it was. It was, it was the Friends producers that did it. It starred Christina Applegate, and I played her brother who didn't speak.
Wait, this is not the one with Matt LeBlanc?
No.
What was his spinoff from Friends? Wasn't it Jesse?
No, but it was.
I don't know why
like
I thought that. Okay, I'm
anyway,
sorry. That's some bad math.
Anyway, it was it was Bright Kaufman Crane who was producing. It was on between Friends and Frasier, and I like to say that.
As soon as you said Applegate, I know which one you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
You could put black screen on between Friends and Frasier at that time, and it would have gotten huge ratings. But so that was my first exposure to serious money, and I mean, I was getting paid $16,000 per week, and I had no lines because he was mute. The character was mute. It was.
That's my dream job.
It was. I sat in my trailer. I played video games. And then I would come out to set and, do some wacky facial expressions and then go back in and sit in my trailer. It was, and it was, I was newly sober at that time, so I had health insurance, I had therapy. Jesse really saved my ass. That show saved my butt.
Okay, well, good.
Because I had burned it all down by then,
Yeah.
And then I got that and it really saved me.
Awesome. So after Jesse happens, which lasted for 1 year.
One season. It went 2 seasons. They fired the entire family after the first season.
Including you?
Yeah, they fired us all after season 1.
So what's season 2 about if you fire everyone from season 1?
She was at home and she was at work. And so they fired the home and kept the work.
I remember this gig now.
Yeah.
I remember watching you going, this guy has the dream job. Now it's all coming.
It was...
Yes.
But I saw the end of that series happen on the very first day of shooting the pilot because the executives were in there tinkering with it at the very beginning. And I was like, oh, God, this is not going to end well.
Okay. So Jesse comes to an end.
Yeah.
When do you start cooking your own stuff up?
Okay, so that, so I'd been trying to do stuff all along. That was my dream. How can I do improv? And there was Reno 911 at the time, which I was a huge fan of.
Yep.
But my style was slightly different in that I wanted to do more narrative. I wanted storytelling. Reno 911 was super funny and awesome, but it was, less of a strong narrative. So I wanted to try to make the narrative and the improv work. So basically the idea was get a writer's room, but put him in costume and put him on the set.
Yes.
But still have the story broken. Anyway, so I finally, so I'd been doing stuff. I did that pilot for Fox that didn't go anywhere. That was improv. And then I was doing a show, a 3-person improv show that kind of had a following. It was kind of like a bar band. We would, anywhere we'd go, we'd sell out, but it was the same people who came every time. But it was great.
Yeah.
Made no money, but it was fun. And Nancy Hauer, who I knew kind of from the Actors Gang, came to the show and was blown away. It was like the beginning of long form. So people who had never seen anything like that, which was most people, were just like, what? How do you tell a story? They were just like, this is amazing. And she said, I'm directing this film. Will you come and do a scene? I'll let you improvise. I was like, sure. I came, I improvised, and she just loved it. And we kind of fell in love on the set. And I had been looking for somebody like her.
Man, I'm looking for somebody like her. So which was the movie that what movie
it was
it?
That movie never got released, but then we made a movie together. She really made it, but she gives me a credit on it. I starred in it. And it was this ensemble piece called Memron, which makes fun of Enron. If you go to johnlear.com, I have it there. You can get it.
Okay, I'll check it out.
It holds up.
Okay.
It holds up.
Wow.
It's like a wacky mockumentary improv movie. Everything's improvised, and it did well enough to win an award at Slam Dance Festival, which got us, Nancy's career had moved a little, and I had sold that thing to Fox, and I had another project I'd sold it. So that movie winning that Slam Dance was enough to get us into the rooms to pitch a show.
So Nancy Hauer was your missing piece?
Yeah, because she could cut and direct improv. Now, I could direct it. I had tried directing it, but being in it and directing it is impossible. I could write it, but I needed somebody who could cut it with me, and she's just a powerhouse. So
now, let me ask you something. This is kind of crazy. Would never ask a personal question, but was your wife jealous of this new female power in your life?
God, no. No. My wife knows she's got me. She's never worried one iota. She'd be. I went to a massage place that turned out to be a happy ending place. And I didn't know it. I was sort of I was unaware. And afterwards, I called. I go, Jennifer, I was at a massage place, and I think it was a happy ending place. And she said, did you let him finish you? And I was like, no. And she was like, it would have been fine. It wouldn't have bothered me. And I was just like, at first I was like, yeah, my wife is totally cool. And then I was like, wait a minute. She doesn't give a shit.
That's funny. Okay, so y'all two, when you found out that y'all both shared something, what was it? Because, dude, because I find guys like that.
Yeah.
And it's just a great feeling when you know, wow, this guy gets my humor.
Yes.
But it's interesting. It's interesting when a female and
Yes.
you guys come together.
Well, that had been, sort of my trek through improv was always female heavy. The shows that I did in Chicago were the one that had the most success that really kind of got me started was 4 women, 3 men, which was unheard of at that time. It was always like all men and 1 woman, the fat guy, the gay guy, the black guy, the straight guy, the tall guy, and then a woman who would play the secretary and the whore.
Yes.
Essentially. But that I think of all the things that we did with this group called Ed, which is died quickly. It was a flash in the pan, but it was a big flash. Was that women? It was really feminine driven, and that listening, that slower style, that focus on teamwork and improv. That because men, want to jack off and outdo each other.
Right.
The feminine energy was like so. Anyway, I was kind of in that world.
Okay.
And obviously I'm not very manly.
Well,
anyway,
yes, you are. But you got a good head of hair.
I do, yeah.
Look
but
at that,
it's kind
dude.
of, I don't know. It's gone. I don't know what happened. Something happened today.
Okay, so you guys do that movie, and then right after that, you say, "Hey, let's you and I do something." Who's saying let's do something else together?
Both of us. I mean, we knew after doing that movie that we had something going on, and when the movie did well, I knew and she knew that we could use that to pitch something. And we were just like, should we do a movie? Should we do television? And I was like, television, because I just love the idea of like taking characters and expanding them until they pull the plug on you. And so we were trying to think like, okay, we want to do improv. We want to do it, where should we do it? We knew we wanted to do workplace so that we could, something that was public and open and evenly lit, because we didn't know how we were going to shoot this thing.
Yeah.
And there was the grocery store strike happening at the time. And Nancy said, why don't we do something about the grocery store strike? And I was like, well, that sounds more like a movie, beginning, middle, end. But what about a grocery store as a location? And we were like, why hasn't there been a grocery store show? And
Good question.
And now we know that whenever you don't have the answer to that, that's a show you should pitch.
Right.
And so we pitched it to Sony. We pitched it to a few places, but we sold it. Sony eventually they said, look, we'll give you the money to shoot a presentation pilot. And it wasn't very much. It was like $250,000, which sounds like a lot to people, but that's not very much. And so we were like, yeah, I mean, we made like next to nothing. Like I think we made $15,000 each for like the 2 years it took to do it.
Right.
But I remember when we finally sold the show, Nancy and I had like eating off of the snack,
the craft service?
The craft service, because we had no money
at
home. So
the creators are having to eat the craft service.
Executive producers and creators are always the last to get paid for some reason, because you don't get paid till the show's delivered and aired and passes QC and all these technical things that it has to go through. They don't give you the money till it's all the way through, right? So that was like, we were just like scraping by. I was starring on my own TV show on TBS, because that's where we sold it.
Yeah.
We were both executive producing. We'd never show run anything before. This was our first, but because of the way we were doing it with this improv hybrid thing, nobody knew how to do what we were doing, so they had to let us do it. It was a dream,
Yeah, it sounds like a dream, man.
Yeah, it was.
I would love that adventure.
It was scary and stressful and long hours and, fear-based, but it was also like amazing.
And you would do it all again tomorrow, right?
Oh, I've been trying to do that ever since.
Yeah. Okay, so that one comes to an end. How many did you shoot altogether?
3 seasons.
3? Okay.
I think it was 12 a season, so is that right?
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, okay.
So you do that, comes to an end,
Yes.
and you want to do another show. So when you go to start working on another show, are you thinking about all the other people you've already hired?
Absolutely. Our whole plan all along, and
which is what I love, and which is why I bring it up, because I've had admired it about you doing this. So
we're totally loyal to anybody who works, not just in front of the camera. We use a lot of the same actors and have all through, but also the crew. We use the same crew. We bring everybody along, and that's been like the key to one of the keys to our success is realizing what I remember coming onto set thinking like, oh, here's 100 people who now work for me, and their job is to do what take what I've created and make it happen, and then and that shifted from that to no, my job is to find out what they do best and then gear what I'm creating towards putting them in the position to do what they do best. Once that shift happened, then everything took off.
Well, yeah, man, that makes perfect sense.
And that's what people want. That nobody's doing this stuff for the money. If you're doing it for the money, you're a nut job. There is big money at the end of the road, but for very few, if you're doing it, it's because you want to make something.
Yeah.
And so we were just mining that. Like, hey, we know you want to make something good. Let's make something good. What do you do well? Okay, I'll write for that.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to start doing Quickdraw. Is Quickdraw your next project right after?
We did. I had the cockamamie idea of doing an animation show. And the reason is that we thought 10 items would get picked up again, or we hoped.
Right.
And so I wouldn't be able to star in anything. So how could we keep doing what we wanted to do?
Yes, I see what you're
So let's do an animation show. And that way we could improvise the dialogue and do it that way, like Dr. Katz.
Yep.
That's
a great.
So I was a big fan of that show. So we developed this show that was set in the world of NASCAR. And kind of like an Evel Knievel kind of character, and we sold it to Fox before 10 Items was canceled, or right at the same time. So 10 Items gets canceled. We now are in an animation show starring Jeff Foxworthy.
Oh wow!
NASCAR is involved.
Yeah.
And we realized, holy shit, what have we done? The only thing we cared about was being on set. And now we're in an office, looking at a computer.
Yeah.
We're like, how did this happen? And the show ended up not going, not because of us, it was because of NASCAR, and Fox couldn't make a deal in the end. But we were panicking so much that was going to be the rest of our career. I mean, we were grateful for the money, don't get me wrong, but we were like, holy shit. So that we, on the side, while we were doing that pilot, we decided to go out and shoot a crazy thing set in a prison. Like Oz, remember Oz was on HBO? So we wanted to do a comedy version of Oz. This is before Orange is the New Black, way before. And so the idea was to put this character, this oblivious, unassuming, sweet guy, in prison and make it really dark and fucked up.
I love it.
But he's kind of half glass full kind of guy.
I want to see this.
It's called Jailbait. It premiered on Crackle.
Yes.
Early Crackle.
Yes.
The advertiser, all 10 episodes premiered, but the advertisers, because Crackle was advertising based.
Hang on 1 second, we got an 18-wheeler coming through.
And that's how my career
wow,
got to where it is.
Great. That was great. Okay, guys, have a good night.
Yeah, thank you. We'll go back and dub it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but yeah, all the advertisers pulled out because it was really dark.
Really?
Yeah. So, if you go to my website again, I posted one that's illegally posted.
Okay, I'm checking that out.
It's the Mary Fucking Kill episode, which I think you'll enjoy.
Okay.
And if people want more, they can DM me offline and I'll share it with them.
Awesome. Is the character that you made for Jailbait kind of like the character that you will be creating for Quickdraw?
Yes. I mean, if you look at 10 Items, Jailbait, and Quickdraw, my character doesn't change that much.
That's what I thought.
I've never seen myself as an actor, although I've done some serious, people have been like, John, you are a good actor. You should I just did a serious a drama short that was, you know, she's very happy. I was just like, really? Okay.
I could totally see this.
Really?
Man. Yes, I would totally go for that.
I never feel like I'm the character. Like, I'm always just me, and all I want to do is communicate what's in my head to people and try to entertain them or crack them up. So trying to have an animal or a you know, all this stuff that actors do, I'm sort of like, okay, that works for you. Listen, I just want to, like, say this funny concept that's in my head. And put me in a costume so I can do it.
Well, you do a great job at it. Seriously, because I love your style. That's one reason why I'm attracted to you on TV, because your style is so funny, man. I mean, it is funny. Tell me, so Jailbait.
So Jailbait went, we shot that. Then this company called Hulu calls and says, hey,
they call you out of the clear blue.
Yes.
Okay.
This never happens.
Okay.
I'm telling you all the stuff that never happens.
Great, I love it.
That's all that's happened in my career. It isn't. I'm telling you. I'll go back and tell you all the boring stuff of me sitting home in my house drinking myself into oblivion because I'm so depressed nobody will hire me. But anyway, so 10 Items or Less is now rerunning on Hulu. It gets this kind of cult following. Hulu notices the numbers. They call us and say, hey, would you guys, people love your show. Do you have anything else you'd want to do?
Awesome.
Now, I've been trying to convince Nancy to do a Donner Party movie.
Yes.
Because I thought it'd be funny.
Yes.
And I'm a huge Monty Python fan, doing historical comedy.
Yeah.
And I'm from Kansas. So cowboy, that, you know, era was really, and Nancy was like, John, we're not going to pitch a Donner Party show about cannibalism. So, but I kept at it, and Nancy was finally like, she had then started watching some spaghetti Western. She was like, let's do this. Let's do a Western.
Yes.
And so we went in and pitched it. They bought it. But they forced us to write all of the first season's episodes, full production budgets, full production schedule before they would agree to pick it up. Because we were like their third original program or something.
How much work was that, getting all of that prepared?
A ton. Like we did it in like 6 months, but we just busted our asses. And we had people to help us because we were loyal.
Yeah.
And so line producers, people like that would help for free because they knew if we sold it, they were going to get a job.
John, when you're writing something for Quickdraw,
Yeah.
Here's what I love about it. Like, hey, let's go down and shoot those people. So, like, that's the story, is we're going to go shoot those people. But you're like, well, wait, we can go shoot those people, but I got like a rash.
Right.
Can you help me with my rash? That's a whole bunch of the side notes were the funniest things.
Right.
Yeah, there was a plan B. I mean, there was plan A, but your plan B, C, and D were the funniest things.
Well, the thing that I love about improv is that you digress. No matter what, it's just a part of improv where you're connecting with somebody and you're talking about something and then it goes over here. And that, to me, is what you can't get when you write.
Yes,
you know?
Yes, that's what the humor is.
Right.
Digressing.
Right, the digressive humor. And so the problem, though, is that improvisers will digress, and then they'll digress, and then they'll digress, and then you've got a bunch of gobbledygook that nobody really wants to watch because it doesn't go anywhere. So the idea is we would write out really detailed scripts, okay, but no dialogue. Everybody would see the scripts except for the actors. So, and if the actors really wanted to see them, we're like, look, we're not trying to play head games. You can read it, but you don't want to, trust us. And they would read it and they'd be like, don't ever give me another one. Because the scripts were really super detailed. They were like 25 pages, single spaced, no dialogue. So the story is totally broken out, but the only people who are, other than the crew and the executives, I mean, it worked because the executives were like, okay, we're giving you millions of dollars. This is kind of what it's going to be. And we'd be like, yeah. They'd be like, well, I don't like this part. Can you change it? And we're like, fuck yeah, we can. Because nobody's going to see it.
Yeah.
And then, so the actors loved it because they would just show up, get in costume.
Not stressed out about lines, anything like that.
Show up, have their coffee, get into costume, come down to the set, and then Nancy would say, okay, Hoyle's coming in here, you're hungry. So he's in line first and you want to get, she'd just give you the to-gets. Now, I knew where the episode had to go. Nancy knew where it had to go, and so from the inside and the outside, we would guide the story. But the actors, our theory was, hey, you're a super talented improvisational actor. Your job is not to tell the story. Your job is just to be in the moment.
Wow.
We'll take care of everything else.
Yeah.
You just do what you do, and we will exploit you and make money off of you, but you'll enjoy it.
Yes,
And
I love
and you'll
that.
make money too.
I love that. Yes.
Yeah. The actors were like, okay, fair deal. Yeah. Okay.
What I also love about Quickdraw is that you can't really fight. You don't have a big presence that like people intimidate you, but you're a great shot.
Right. Yeah. That was something that we came up with by accident. But now, whenever we develop stuff, having the lead have a superpower of some sort. In this case, he's a great shot, in spite of himself.
Which you got a B+ at Harvard for
in the gun club.
In the gun club.
And a B+ is an A everywhere else. Yeah, the whole Harvard thing too. Nancy's brother went to Harvard. He's not like this, but we were talking about how people from Harvard let you know that they've gone to Harvard within a minute of talking to you. And we just thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, that's
so we put that into the character, and that was like, people love that.
Yes, it's so funny, man.
They love it.
Yes.
I still get, there's a huge following to Quickdraw.
Hey, there
and
is.
Fans are just so into, and they will just, the Harvard thing. They just love it. It's a
funny.
catchphrase.
Yes, it is, man.
I never had a catchphrise before.
Well, look at you.
It's so easy. You just, Harvard.
Yeah, Harvard. Well, I went to Harvard, right?
Right. And then people laugh. You're like,
Exactly.
Jesus, I did nothing. But
Okay, and also another thing I just want to point out before we move on is that you get shot a lot at the end of each episode, or it looks like you get killed, or you're on your deathbed, but the next episode you're
he
alive
recovers.
and well.
Yes.
I love it. That's the old cartoon Tom and Jerry humor. And
Well,
I love it.
we look. There are character arcs. There are season arcs through Quickdraw. There's a beginning, middle, and end to each season.
Yeah.
So that you can binge it and get a story. But we want people to be able to drop in at any moment and laugh and not feel like they've missed something or need to see something.
John, you got everything covered. That's so brilliant thinking like that.
Yeah, because we just want to be funny, man. There's so many comedies out there that are winning Emmys for being comedies, and I watch them and I'm like, why am I not laughing?
Yeah.
Are you a comedy just because you're a half hour? Because you're good, the show is great, but I'm not laughing.
Right,
and we wanted to crack people up.
Yeah.
So that kind of shit where, reset button stuff allows you to be, we wanted to have a sense of wackiness to the comedy that, the shows that we love, Monty Python, Spinal Tap, these kinds of shows that WKRP,
yes.
Reno 911, those types of shows,
Well, again, if you have not watched it, watch it.
Yeah, and you can watch it for free. A lot of people don't know this. If you go to Yahoo View, so just Google Yahoo View Quickdraw, or go to my website. I have a link there.
Okay.
So you don't have to have a Hulu subscription.
Nice, but I do.
Good.
Not to brag.
Yeah.
Okay, so Quickdraw. Anything else on Quickdraw? Anything else neat that I need to know?
The one thing you might like
Please.
is that there's lots of historically correct stuff
Really?
in the show. For example, the bad guy is Cole Younger. That was the Youngers were really real people. There's an episode where, in every episode, there's some fact-based stuff. And there's an episode of Deacon Jim where he gets shot and he has a metal plate under him. That was a real guy who had a metal plate under him. Still, things like there's an episode where a guy gets rabies and they just lock him up in jail. They actually did that to people who had rabies. They would there was nothing you could do, so you just tied him up or locked him up in jail, and we thought that was hilarious. And so, so there's lots of historically correct stuff. There's a couple of episodes, two of our most favorite episodes take place in a town called Nicodemus, which is made up of entirely freed slaves. That is a real place in Kansas. There were towns after the Civil War that were made up of entirely of freed slaves, which is history that just white people don't hear about.
No, I've never heard that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that comes to an end. How many seasons did you do?
Just 2, unfortunately.
And
sad,
but there's always
sad story.
But there's always talks of maybe a movie.
Yeah, we had a meeting with investors just a couple of weeks ago.
Nice.
They have a fund. They want to do Quickdraw. We're like, okay, we have a script, we have a budget that we gave them, and the movie business is so as flaky as TV is. Do you have any experience in that world?
No. In the movie world?
Yeah,
No,
it's
no,
crazy
no.
though. There's no, everybody's crazy, and nothing gets done unless you're
Really?
Spider-Man. But these guys seem legit, and the producer we're working with is like, yeah, this is going to happen. So,
Okay, that's awesome to hear.
Yeah.
Is that after Quickdraw? Is there anything else I need to know about after Quickdraw that you're working on or about
now,
to come? Yeah.
we just sold a show to TBS.
Okay.
Starring Tommy Chong from Cheech and Chong.
Sure. Yeah, man. That's awesome. I love it already.
But, it's at the very beginning. We're writing the pilot script, and we'll see where it goes.
Would you be in it?
Possibly. And then there's another show that we've sold that I'm not supposed to talk about. I talked about it a little bit, and I got in a lot of trouble.
Okay, well, let's not talk about that. Okay, really quick, we're going to start winding down because we already hit the 30-minute
Oh,
mark.
shit. Yeah,
I know, that's great.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. We gotta
Worst days in Hollywood.
The worst days was probably those days when I was drinking.
How did you end up in Ventura to get arrested in Ventura?
We went camping. This is my
Okay.
friend's 30th birthday. What do you do on your 30th birthday? You drop acid and you go camping.
Okay.
And then I decided to drive after that, and the cop pulled us over. It was,
Okay.
we are drug addicts. Arrest us now. And there were narcotics involved.
Okay.
And I was charged with possession of narcotics with
Okay.
intent to sell. I had no intention of selling any of them. They were all going in my body. But anyway.
But isn't it great that Hollywood allows that's okay? Hey, that's okay that you have that on your record. I mean, seriously, Hollywood doesn't care about that as long as it's in the past.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I now do a comedy show about those days, and it's called Cold Sober Comedy,
Perfect.
where I do like a one-man show that's funny, but it's about what I did before, getting sober and living sober because it's ridiculous.
Okay, as I asked the worst days in Hollywood, what are the best days in Hollywood? Is there a certain time that you go, man, that was the best, or is it right now? Where is it?
Right now is good. I mean, I would say the salad days were probably during 10 items because I was doing the Geico Caveman stuff at
Wait,
the
we
same
didn't even
time.
get to that. I'm about to close up.
That's
we didn't
all right.
even know.
People know, or can see.
Okay, you were one of the Geico guys, the original Geico guys.
There were 3 of us. I did like 25 national spots, and as a commercial actor, what that means.
Yes,
and that
yes.
was in the old days.
Yes, guys.
Now
yes.
they're all non-union. They're making Geico Caveman spots now, but it's all non-union. It's not us.
That's not cool.
Yeah, that industry's really gone bye-bye.
You were part of this short-lived spinoff into the series.
ABC did a series. Fortunately, I was on 10 items or less, and I couldn't do it. I read the pilot script, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is going to." You could smell it, and I did the pilot for the money, but I knew that thing was gonna suck. And then Geico made a commercial, a Super Bowl commercial. I think it only aired once. That was us watching the show about us and going, "God, that's not us."
That's great.
That was great. If anybody can find that spot, I would love to see it.
Okay, done. I hope someone does. All right, John.
A pleasure.
Dude, my pleasure. But
Yeah.
wait, one more favor. Will you tell everybody out there goodbye?
All right, everybody. Talk to you later. Thank you.